blacked out after halftime, so hopefully we won. I don't know. That was pretty exciting. I think ESPN's pretty happy nobody decided to play defense today. So no, it's a great result for us. I think people who haven't been following this team might be surprised by some things, but this group of guys to my left has been doing this all season, and I think when we went up 2 goals, we went up 3-1, and we went up again 4-2 against a team like Maryland. I mean, you're never going to feel secure with that. I think, and they proved exactly why they're leading the country in scoring goals this season. I mean, it's a special team. They got some unbelievable talent that we had to deal with, and I think congratulations are in order to Sasha and that Maryland team. It's a really special group. And once you get to penalty kicks, it's gutting for whoever loses it. But I think that what this team has shown through the year is that we do whatever needs to be done to get the result. I think when we went down a goal, it's just sort of more of the same, and how they responded to it was more of the same. I think Stevie had 2 world-class goals there to get us the lead. I made the mistake of telling TV that I think there was more goals in the game at halftime, and there were. I should have told them that was going to be it. But some terrific stuff, and I think that's about as entertaining a soccer game as you'll maybe see.
I mean, usually I do ball tricks. I'll pick up the ball, but the ref wasn't having it today, so I had to try something else, and it worked out. Going into this one, Coach Gill told me that they were looking to see when I'd move early, and against Syracuse, a couple of the PKs ended up leaving early, and I guess they saw to go to the other side, and then today I stayed until they hit it, and on the last one I just had a hunch to go there, and it ended up working out.
I actually haven't had a hat trick yet in college, so it was a good time to get one, I guess. And I mean, you always dream about having games like that in big stages like this. I'm just very fortunate for it to happen at this time of the season. And as for the rivalry with Maryland, we don't pay much attention to the tension in the basketball teams and the administrations and stuff. We just came out here to play a game, and I guess we gave everyone a show there, and I thought it was good for college soccer, and it was two good teams duking it out, and we're just happy we came out on top.
Yeah, he's not fortunate. He's good. I mean, that happens when you're good. It's funny, we were just laughing about it in the elevator a little bit. I told him he had an unbelievable week of training going into the Elite Eight game against San Diego, and I actually told him the day before that I thought he might have a hat trick. He said, "You're maybe due for a hat trick," and he ended up getting 2 assists and in fact assisted on the own goal as well. So he in effect had 3 assists. So he got that wrong. We adjusted some things, and he actually got the hat trick today. So Stevie's able to do this stuff. I mean, he can create goals out of nothing. He's an instinctual goal scorer, and I think he's about as complete a player as I've coached in terms of being able to play and set guys up. But also, I think when we needed the goals, felt like the next 2 times he touched it, he scored. 2 goals to get us back in the lead there. So, and as far as the Maryland, I mean, boy, wouldn't you like to see that every year? I mean, it's just a fun game. I think. I think we have huge amount of respect for each other when we play. So it is what it is, and hopefully we'll line up again at some point. Maybe in front of the soccer community next time.
I think I did have 2 goals against Marquette last year, and maybe less than that. Yeah. But I mean, just as for the goal scoring, it wasn't falling for me in the beginning of the year. I think I only had 2 goals through 12 games or something. I had a bunch of assists, but the goals weren't falling for me. But I knew I just had to stay with it, and then you'll have games like this where every shot you take seems to go in. But yeah, I mean, I've had some success with goal scoring my first couple of years, but as a youth player, I always thought of myself as more of a playmaker. And I've been setting up Brandon Allen for a few goals this year. But yeah, I can't explain the feeling getting 3 goals in the College Cup. It's an unbelievable feeling and something I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
I thought we started the game really, really well, and I thought that was important. Again, I mean, I've been harping about this for the last couple of weeks in the preparation that the Big East and the Big East tournament does for this team. And I think there's been a lot talked about, well, this is the first time this program's been to the College Cup, and for this group of players, obviously. But the reality is the only group of players that have been here is the Creighton guys. So it's just as new for the Maryland players. It's just as new for the Indiana players, and I think the preparation these guys had into that Big East semifinal and that Big East final against Notre Dame, that game felt in a funny way pretty similar to tonight. I think they've been through this before this season, and I think they came out and played terrifically to start the game off. I thought we had the ball really well. I think we possessed. I thought Ian did an amazing job keeping the tempo how we wanted it and swinging it. And I think we made Maryland defend for long stretches in that first half. I think that was very, very important for this team to get off on the right foot. And credit to these guys, they didn't let the situation daunt them at all. I think they came out and were very loose and very relaxed, and I thought they performed terrifically.
I guess it's something I don't really want to go through again if I don't have to. But to be honest, I think I speak for the entire team when I say this, that I don't really know if we had necessarily a swing of emotion. Coach told us before not to get all caught up in the emotion of the game, and just to stay a nice even keel no matter what was going on. And I think we kind of displayed that tonight. We went up 2 goals, which was great, and then we gave up 2 goals, but our mentality stayed the exact same.
We have guys that attack. I think we're not afraid to go forward, and Maryland's got 18, 20 frightening players on their roster, and they when they are pushed up against it, we knew. I told the guys at halftime, I says, look, there's going to be more goals in this half. I mean, we can't settle on a 2-1 sit-in mentality because you just can't do that against Maryland. You just can't. They're far too good. And I make no apologies for not sitting in and bunkering in on even a 3-1 lead or 4-2 lead as it got later in there. I make no apologies for that because that's not how we're built. And I think when you play against Maryland, and if you're sitting here in the blue and gray here, we have to have the ball. Best way to not let them score is to have the ball, and when you have the ball, you also take some risks and do that. And Maryland, hats off to those guys. I mean, you want to talk about, I think, two groups of warriors going after each other today. I mean, neither team, I think, from their point of view, what a resilient performance from Maryland's point of view. I mean, they could have chucked it on multiple occasions as that half wore on, and they keep pressing and they keep going, and we knew that about them. We knew that they weren't gonna go over easy, and then I think once it went 4-4. The thing swings over to you start watching these guys. How are they going to respond to losing that 2-goal lead? And I thought, like they have all season, and I think as Ian touched on, they just get their workmanlike, and they believe in each other. They believe in what they do, and I think we had some long stretches there where we weren't doing what we needed to do. Maryland had the ball through that first the last maybe 10 minutes of regulation, the first overtime period. It was, we were hanging on there for a little bit, and then. They settle down, and they, I think winning and penalty kicks is as much about mentality and confidence in yourself as anything else. And, these guys, I couldn't be prouder of these guys and their character. And, it's no surprise. They've been doing this all season.
The first question, it was a big plus when I was in their recruiting process, and I looked at Georgetown and saw they had a head coach that used to be a goalkeeper, and then they had a goalkeeper-specific coach, and that was a big plus. And that was one of the reasons I came here. And then as for the game, the last 2 goals, I wasn't very happy giving up. And then I knew once we got to PKs, what happened in the game's done, and it's a new ball game, and just, I was ready to go.
Brian Gill, who's handles our goalkeepers, does an unbelievable job with these guys, and I think Tomas will be the first to tell you that Brian's. I think as big a part of what happens out there as anybody else. I've taken, I think, 2 sessions. I think that made a difference this year. I do. I think it made a big difference. I think it was in October. I took 2 sessions with those guys. I don't know. We'll never know, really. But